Good evening, gang stalkers. Welcome back to another episode of Splaesh Digest. It is currently 8:34 p.m. on either the 12th or 13th. I don't remember, and I am not going to check because I've already started recording. Ha ha ha! Jesus. Yeah, we're doing the Halo enemy tier list. Uh, for as to how these are going to rank, it's not going to be in like a power scale or anything. It's just going to be kind of like, do I enjoy the enemy or not? And with all of that waffling and boring preamble out of the way, the flood carrier form, I think I'll give it a B. I'm not particularly like upset or frustrated when it comes along. It serves its purpose, It blows up. It's got all the infection forms in it, and in the later games, those bring Dead Flood back from the dead. So I mean, all around, pretty cool concept for a critter, even though they're not like particularly dangerous or anything. And I think the first game and I guess subsequent ones as well kind of imply that it's a grunt on the bottom, which I like. Like, it's got little grunt legs, if that makes sense. Like, that's, I always look at it and go, oh, that's a grunt that's been infected. But I guess it's sort of like technically any sort of like not suitable for like heavy combat body will be like a carrier form or something. But yeah, all around really cool concept. All the flood are probably gonna get like at the bare minimum B tier. A watcher, as an enemy isn't like bad. Like, this is one of the few like enemies in Halo 4 that has good visual feedback when you're shooting at it and stuff. It's got like the big orange, almost like turbine VTOL kind of things, and it gives a good satisfying pop when you blow it up. But it does some annoying stuff, like it, which I just praised the carrier form for. It brings dead knights back from the dead, which sounds cool in theory, right? And it also blocks them, and it throws grenades in a different direction if you try and throw them at them. It's got like this plasma shield, or I guess it would be a hard light shield. The difference between these two, other than like one's ooey gooey and one's metal, is like the things that they bring back. One, like the carrier form, brings back enemies that are easy to kill, right? Like, you can put down another combat form pretty easily. A knight takes some elbow grease. Okay, like you need to settle in, and especially if it's like Halo 5 or something, you need to be prepared for dealing with another knight, even though you just wasted all of your resources on another one. So that's why it's getting C tier. But I don't hate it. Like, it's got a cool design. It's satisfying to shoot. So you want to target them first anyways, and then they're pretty decent to kill. So, like, not terrible. Combat form. It really depends what game. Like, if we're talking like Halo 1, I think they're pretty S tier. The way that they like come back from the dead, sometimes when you put them down, they can just get back up anyways. They feel a lot more undead and zombie like. But if we're talking like Halo 2's combat forms, like, those are a bit more frustrating, and they don't have great visual feedback. The melee's not too strong on them, which I guess they never were supposed to be. And then back up into S tier for like Halo 3, the way they just kind of crumble when you punch them is really satisfying. So, I mean, for now, I think I want to say there's better enemies than the combat form. So I'm gonna leave that there for now, and we'll come back around to it later. Okay, this is just the stalker. Okay, so the stalker form is interesting. I'll leave it in B tier because it's not really an enemy. Like, yes, it can attack you. It's got like the pounce and everything, but 90% of the time it's changing into its other two forms. So you know what? That kind of makes it, like, kind of terrible in a way. It's not really, like, it has a cool design, and it's not like too difficult to kill, so I'll leave it in C tier, actually. Um, and we'll put it above the Watcher. It's better, it's more satisfying to kill than the Watcher, and less frustrating. But you're never like, oh, it's a Stalker form, look out. It's, oh, as a pure form, it's going to change into something that's going to be dangerous. Drones, S tier for me. I love drones. Flying little critters that shoot the shit out of everything and, like, pick up guys and carrying them off and stuff. And, like, just a weird pest kind of monster. Like, they're not, or alien, they're not particularly difficult, but they're overwhelming in numbers, which is kind of my favorite enemy type. Like, I'm big on zombies. I'm big on, like, minion enemies, especially in, like, D&D. So these guys, really cool. I like how in Halo ODST, they get all their little ranks and stuff, and they get to have plasma shields and stuff. Like, awesome enemy type. Jackals. And once again, it depends on what game you're talking about. Like, I'd say in, like, Halo CE and Halo 3, they're pretty A tier. Like, are they? Yeah, I mean, they're, like, nothing special, but they are, like, they have a really unique shield thing. Like, you know, they're kind of like a riot guard almost. Like, if you know, in, like, Modern Warfare 2 or something, they come up with their shield. They have, like, a bit more of, like, a defensive idea in mind. And they've got pretty good visual feedback for the most part. But, like, a Jackal sniper in Halo 2 is really not fun. And the way that there's just, like, so many on, is it Metropolis or Outskirts? It's one of those where they just keep respawning. That's an issue, and that can become very frustrating. So maybe put them in B tier. B tier above the carrier form, we'll say. Hunters, I think they're always going to be an S tier, like, boss character, a mini boss. Like, I know in Halo 1, you got that one shot that makes him a little goofy, but it also is iconic in a way. Like, it's, you know, you have that special little dance you do with them. You know, you wait for them to slam out their shield, and you get behind them. I don't know if this counts, but in the books, I'm still... I love all these videos where I'm saying I'm still reading the novelization of CE, because I just read very slow. The hunters in there, they have spines on the back, on their backs in this, but in the games they're not really, like, used, right? Like, sure, they have them and they move and stuff in game, but they're not like a weapon, right? You don't walk up to them and get damaged. In the books, so many people get, like, writhed against the spikes. Like, it says that a lot. Or, like, the Master Chief gets, like, stabbed by one of the spines on their back. And it's like, I'm trying to picture in my head how they did that. But yeah, in all the rest of the Halo games, like even Halo 5, hunters are cool. Like, that's a fun enemy to fight, no matter what you're playing. Warden Eternal, D. Like, he could have been really cool. I don't, like, hate the boss fight, but the fact it's, like, the only boss fight in Halo 5, and they just keep reusing him in the game he's in, and then when you play Warzone Firefight, which I've been doing a lot recently, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna hear, "It's the Warden Eternal," before the fight begins, for, like, the final boss or whatever. It's just not... He's too much. You showered us with Warden Eternal, thinking he was the coolest thing since sliced bread, when really he's just all right. And for that, he has to be the worst. Marines. When are Marines enemies? I guess there's the one in ODST that's, like, a required to kill enemy. I'm trying to think of any other time where they're, like, an actual enemy in the game. and I really don't think so. But that encounter is really cool. So am I rating it based off the encounter? And I guess you have like the going rampant for Master Chief in the older Halo games where they would turn into enemies. In which case, like, that's really funny. And like the invincible Marines that appear if you kill Captain Keyes lead to an Easter egg. So, you know, they can. The fact that later on they kind of like don't really exist makes me want to cut them down a little bit because they're not really supposed to be enemies in a lot of ways. But like, there's a lot of cool encounters that you can make like enemy Marines, or either you could meet enemy Marines in depending on what you do. So I'll leave them in A. Infection form S tier. Once again, another little guy that pops. The only thing that I wish is that they were a little bit tankier. If they could survive like 2 bullets instead of 1, I would really be interested to see what that would look like, because they're so fragile in these games. I think CE does it really well, where like you can still kind of melee them, and they're slow enough where you can get that off, and they have a bit more of like a lazy like jump towards you. Like, I really enjoy that because you get to see them on screen a lot more, and they are a lot easier to see in those games. But in like Halo 2 and Halo 3, they kind of just like realify their design and make them like brown goop, which like to me removes some of their like uniqueness. But still awesome enemy type, and the whole concept of the Flood in general is going to shoot them up the list either way. Knights I don't think are bad enemies, but they have issues. I may have to reorient C tier here, or maybe even put the Stalker in D tier. That feels a lot better. Maybe maybe like that. Yeah, because like a knight, you know, like you're prepared for encountering that when dealing with Prometheans, right? Like, this is the Promethean you think about when you're going into Halo 4 and 5, right? You're not thinking about the crawlers, you're not thinking about the soldiers, you're not thinking about the watchers. You're thinking about the Promethean Knights, the one in Halo 4 that shows his fucking skull to Chief, right? Like, these guys do have a cool design. It just comes to the fact that they are like not the greatest thing ever to fight. Like, they don't have very good visual feedback. They can be assassinated, which is nice. But the weapons they hold, they don't really like. A lot of them are insta-kill, but not telegraphed, right? Like an elite with an energy sword, you can see he's got the energy sword. A brute chieftain, you can see he's got the hammer. A knight with a incineration cannon looks the exact same as a knight with like a light rifle or something. It's very hard to tell, like, at a glance what they're carrying. But there are worse things that you can encounter. It's just like the rest of the stuff around them makes them frustrating. Like when you have a watcher holding a shield in front of them and throwing the grenades away, and then you have a bunch of crawlers all shooting at you with the fucking suppressor. That's when it's like, God fucking damn it, I don't want to deal with this knight for the 40th time because he keeps getting brought back to life. But they're not bad on their own. Engineer. Engineers are pretty cool. What they lack, especially in Reach, and I don't think if are they in any other games other than Reach and 3 or 3 ODST? I'm trying to remember. I need to replay like Halo 4 and 5, but I don't think they're in those games. They don't really have good visual feedback. They do in they do kind of in ODST when they do their death detonation, right? You get all these very easy to see like exploding little bombs that bounce everywhere. but shooting them, they kind of just spat out blood. Like they don't react to it. They kind of just float around. They don't even try and run away. They just make a very shrill sound that makes it sound like you're like stepping on one of your pet's paws or something. Which I mean makes sense. Like they're not. Maybe I'll put them bottom of B tier. They're not like bad to encounter, and they serve a pretty interesting purpose of giving like extra energy shields or energy shields to enemies that wouldn't otherwise have them. So which is cool. Like that's a cool mechanic. But actually taking out the node that does that, not very like interesting. I would almost prefer them to try and run away from you or something, where they kind of just float around with no intentions of doing anything whatsoever. What do we got now? Oh, a grunt. Another little guy. Come on. Could I really put grunts anywhere besides S tier? Like, the voice acting, the mechanics where if you, like, the fear mechanic where you hold... I guess I kind of have to bump the Jackal up then, because... the fear mechanic as well. I completely forgot about that, where like if their squad gets killed, like their elite gets taken out, or you hold like a rocket launcher or a sniper or an energy sword in front of them, they will get scared and run away. Like that made Halo for a lot of people, especially like when I was a kid. Like they always thought that was so funny just to have all like the enemies run away from you. It's like great power fantasy. It's awesome. Grunts are so fun to like. Vic says like he loves pushing in their soft spot. They have the grunt sleepers, like everything, and they go from like some of the most easiest to put up with enemies to some of the most frustrating shit imaginable. But you can always kill a grunt just by hitting them a couple of times. Like a grunt isn't ever like unkillable. It's just sometimes they do way more damage than you expect, and it's kind of funny. And they do like their shuddy suicide charge as well, which is awesome. What else? The Sentinel. Sentinel's not bad. It's got pretty good visual feedback, and the way that like it fires the Sentinel beam, you can watch that beam go. Sorry, I just had a huge crack in my collarbone. That just happened. Oh my god, I don't know if I picked it up. But yeah, they have like this beam that you can follow where, it connects right to what they're shooting at and connects right to them. So you can see everything that's going on. And when a bunch of them all get together, it looks like they're just cleaning. Like it's really cool seeing like in the library on CE, which I know people don't like, but watching like 8 of those things like clean up the flood. Like that's always so cool to watch. It's like a laser light show at fucking Darien Lake. Yeah, those guys are super cool. What do we got now? The Flood tank form. Tank form's not bad. It feels way easier to kill than you're expecting a lot of the time. Like a good couple of melees or like an energy sword to its face, and it's done for like completely. So I like personally, I wish it was a bit more tanky and slower. Like if it didn't have that run or anything, and they just made it like a walking wall, I would prefer more. It's got that cool little thing where it barfs out more infection forms. So like if they kept all that and just made it more of like a absolute beast that walks in front, like that slow pushes you basically, and got rid of some of its weaknesses, I think it'd be a lot better. Like some of its other weaknesses, just to give that more of like a like a tank form. But at that point, like, that would mess with it changing into all the other forms and stuff. So I like my pie in the sky idea definitely wouldn't work. It's just something I would have personally liked to see. But not like a bad enemy, just like a tad underwhelming to me when I first encountered it as a kid. It was like, oh, it's a fucking flood tank. What is that, like a hunter or something? No, it's a pure form, and it's already dead. Like, I don't know, I just want it to be a bit more difficult. Speaking of a bit more difficult, Brute Chieftains. Brute Chieftains are awesome. They're all based off Tartarus, of course, who is not like the worst boss fight ever. It's not even really a boss fight. It's kind of just like an enemy that's invulnerable, and you have to like disable the invulnerability first to then be able to damage them. and they make that into like a mini boss enemy, which I think totally works. Like this, like the Brute Tartarus, his like formula as a regular enemy is a great idea, and it's a great like evolution of Halo 2, like or evolution from Halo 2 to Halo 3. Like that is a 10 out of 10 enemy design. Spartans? Well, I guess yeah, you fight Spartans in I don't know why the fuck I said it like that. You fight Spartans in multiplayer. Of course you do. You know what? Spartans are pretty S tier. Like I'll put them right in the middle of like fight of S tier here. It's like the visual feedback you get on a Spartan is great. Smacking them and hearing Steve Downs have to like make death sounds is always funny. Like all of the Spartan death sounds are great. We'll talk about this with the elites too. Like, you know, you have the design of Spartans. You know, you can make your own, all different colors, all the customization options. So like each one you come across is somebody else's personalized Spartan. Well, that's really cool. I'm just explaining game mechanics at this point and the function of a multiplayer game to try and get across why I think this quote unquote enemy design is cool. But you don't ever fight enemy Spartans, right? Am I missing something horrible in Spartan Ops or something that I'm going to have to come across? I'm still working on Spartan Ops as well. Like, as a first-time playthrough for me. So, I don't know. I've never heard of that before. I don't think you ever fight enemy Spartans outside of multiplayer, but in multiplayer, pretty fucking cool. What we got here? Someone else is joining the C tier club. Yeah. Like, crawlers, they're not bad per se. There's a bunch of them. They're easy to kill. It's kind of like what a grunt would be if it had none of its extra abilities or anything. Like, you're never like, oh shit, there's a crawler. It's like, oh shit, there's a bunch of crawlers and they're just gonna whittle my health down. Which would sound like the drone or the infection form, but these things don't have really good visual feedback for anything. Like, it's a bunch of dogs that come at you and spit a bunch of bullshit. Like, they're not horrible, but you know, it's where the environment that you interact with them that is bad. Like how I've explained with all three of these guys. Like, you're not just encountering like a couple of crawlers and you can't like pull out a big gun for them to run away. And they're not like, they are easy to kill, but they don't have like the same numbers that a drone would. They don't have the same kind of concept that, well, I mean, either the drone or the infection form of being like an overwhelming force. It's just like a pack of dogs that comes at you, basically. And I don't like shooting dogs. I know crazy controversial opinions here, but yeah, like those guys on top of the Watchers there, on top of the Knights as well, like it creates this like not fun zone basically of enemies that cover each other's bases a little bit too perfectly for the player to like have fun fighting, in my opinion. Here's an enemy that is a Promethean that I don't think is that bad. I'll put it at the bottom of B tier because, once again, the visual feedback. No, you know what? I think I will move it above the Engineer on account of its, my favorite buzzword for today's video, visual feedback, because it has a lot more expressions than you'd expect. Like, yeah, I've been playing a lot of Warzone recently, and like these guys aren't too hard to kill. They have, you can pretty much see them wherever they are. They have a pretty decent teleport line, so they're not blinking everywhere like the Knight is. And when you like damage them, their back lights up, and they have like a very nice way of telling if they're like low on health, where it's almost like they're venting heat, and they start glowing that like 1,000-degree red. Like these are pretty good robot enemies. Like I like the Promethean soldiers. Those aren't bad at all. And what drags them down is the other three, unfortunately, all being put together in the same area with each other. Why am I not talking? I should be talking. This is a what is the name of this thing? I went silent for a second, and now I can't remember anything. Um, Sentinel Enforcer. Sentinel Enforcer. These guys crush cars in between their thighs like fucking Chuck Norris does to Indiana Jones in the Ultimate Showdown. They're pretty damn cool. Um, it's not that fun to like get shot at by them, I suppose. Like sometimes they end up doing more damage than you would expect, but that's the really only, I mean, if that's really the only negative I can think of. They might go into S tier actually. They've got a really good design. They fall apart as you damage them, and I only learned recently that you can like shoot the lights out on them. It's just like the way they shoot like bombs is only really effective against vehicles. Like I'm never worried about taking damage from one of these enforcers. I'm just kind of going about the motions of taking it down immediately. But if I'm in a vehicle, I'm worried about it. So, I mean, like other than that, not really bad at all. Very, very cool enemy. I was gonna put it in like A or B tier at first, and then I sat and actually used my brain for a second, and it turns out that's a pretty cool enemy. maybe I'll move it above these two, because at least you're like, you're taking some time to fight it. They're not like a dime a dozen. This is an enemy that fits right along in with these guys. This right here, these two are the same, basically, except one climbs on walls and jumps around like an asshole. One climbs on walls and goes turtle like an asshole. So, you know what? I will say, controversial opinion, the crawler is better than the ranged form. Or whatever they call it, projectile form, whatever. This enemy is not fun to get shot at by. It's not even that satisfying to shoot at it, because it does its like turtle shell shield thing, and then you're just waiting for it to come back up, and then it hits you and lowers your shield a little bit, and you're just doing this weird ping pong fucking back and forth thing. That's not fun. In higher difficulties, these guys laser you down. So, you know what? It will sit down there, actually. What we got? An elite. Now, elites, they come in all different shapes and sizes. They have immaculate vibes. The design to me is the best like alien design there is. It's the same kind of way like the Predator is done almost, except like the mandibles are a bit more like useful in the elite's case, and they have like an explanation for why they have them and everything. The whole way elites like hang out and like have their own little hierarchy and their like honor system and everything, and the way they don't really have like jokes in the same way we do. It's almost like I like elites or something. It's almost like the picture I'm using to represent myself in the digest videos is it's one of these guys. Like all around for me, top tier enemy. The energy sword is like equal to the lightsaber in terms of like being an iconic weapon. That's twice I've said that everyone's favorite Halo buzzword. Like all around, like super solid enemy. You have easy ones with the like elite miners and majors and stuff, and then you have like the ultras and the zealots who like you're worried about seeing. These guys pilot vehicles. They're everywhere, right? They're like the bread to the grunts butter in a sense. Like you can't have Halo without grunts, elites, and jackals. So, like, that they have to be up there somewhere. It's just in the jackals case, I feel like they miss the mark in terms of like um how utilized they are. Like, how come there's no jackals like in vehicles or anything? Where's the jackal vehicles? Come on. Like, why don't they have little ranger bags or ranger jetpacks or something, right? Like, if you had, I think they have them in Halo 4 or something, like the jackal rangers and stuff. But like, how come that's not in like Halo 2? How come there's no little like jackal ranger that jumps around and shit? I know there's mods and stuff that add things like that, but of course, that's not what we're talking about. I wish the jackal had a bit more like utility. Yeah, instead they kind of save it for like the marksman and like that riot patrol. And is there really anything else the jackals are used for? I struggle to think of anything. Hell, give them like human weapons like the brutes, because in the books and stuff they seem to like human weapons. So why not give them like a magnum or something? Oh god, a fucking jackal with a CE magnum. That sounds that sounds scary. I couldn't think of a more articulate word for that. So you're getting scary. Gutas. Gutas, I'm punishing by putting them at the bottom of C tier because you see them once and they are way less tanky than you'd expect, way less tanky than the way Cat brings them up in that section to be like significant at all. When they end up being like a threat for 2 seconds, to the point when I played through Halo Reach with Marcos, we did not like, or not we, he did not even acknowledge their existence by the end of the game. I tried to bring them up to him and he was like, no, don't know what you're talking about. Like, these things that are built up for, they have their own section, right? They have their own like set piece section. It's supposed to kind of feel to me like encountering hunters for the first time or something. You'd expect them to be like a third party kind of character that's messing up everything else, when really they show up once in a pair and then never come back. And that's very underwhelming. But for what they are, they're not a bad enemy. It's just they never fucking show up again. And last we have the like baby Zalanin guys or whatever, the skimmers. I mean, skimmers aren't bad. Like, I don't mind them. I really don't. As an enemy, let me process them for a second. They are kind of goofy. They bully one of the monitors and like rip them apart. The way they have the shock rifle isn't great. Like, I don't think enemies like this should be able to one-shot you. Sorry, I'm yawning because it's now 9:07 p.m. They, like, I don't know, they're a bit too dangerous for being, like, such an invasive force. Like, all of the skimmers coming in with shock rifles and commandos and shit, like, that ends up being like overwhelming in a bad way. Like, to me, drones are maybe I'll even put them like around here somewhere. Yeah, that looks a bit better to me. Like, with drones and infection forms and grunts and stuff, like, yeah, they can be dangerous, but generally they're not one-shotting you unless it's like a grunt with a fuel rod, or, you know, it's Halo CE and your shields are down and a infection form hops on you and you're toast, right? Or maybe a single like needle from a drone follows you around a corner and kills you. Like, yeah, that can happen and that can suck, or like, you know, grunt could just one-shot you or blow up your vehicle or whatever. But it's not like pretty much guaranteed to happen on higher difficulties and stuff, like playing firefight. When you come across like a group of skimmers or the skimmer alpha or whatever it's called, like, shock rifle is just going to hit you and then like everybody behind you and kill you. And I've had that happen way more times than I would expect. So here's my enemy tier list. Feel free to get mad at me, because that's engagement. But if you've listened this far into the rambling that is my the commentary videos, uh, thanks. Awesome, cool. You should stick around. Um, yeah. Peace, peace.